I started doing art as a child. I was a very artistic child. I started in nursery school. We had many creative activities as part of the curriculum, and that's how I fell in love with art. And when I finished high school, I wanted to choose what to do in life. I went for the artistic professions, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I went to design school so I could experiment with many different things, and that's when I started working as an illustrator.
You can turn around and your face here. Yeah? Okay. When I was at university, I had the opportunity to do a documentary, and it was not a film school. I was doing communication, but I really liked the experience, and from there, a master's in documentary making, and so from there I started being exposed to all different kinds of genres when it comes to documentary making, but also seeing how it is possible to produce something artistic still with that medium. From there, I've done a lot of camera work as film, and now pushing it to photography. Some things are similar, and in my case, I like capturing candid moments, and I thought like I can actually learn how to do that through photography.
My main medium is collage, strictly using paper to create, but I also use other material to create. Professionally, I started in 2013, but before I was doing it as a hobby, as something I wanted to do. When I say before, I would go back to my childhood.
I got involved in art since my childhood. I studied art in École d'Art de Nyundo. I started art as a career in 2021. As an artist, I practice many different mediums, including tattoos, but I focus on painting on canvas. Mostly I use charcoal and acrylics, sometimes oil paints to create on my canvases.
I got so much rage inside.
Miziguruka, which
So
means
much
flying
rage
roots
inside.
in Kinyarwanda. It's not a name, it's more of a concept that leads my work. I'm a poet, I am an actress, I am a curator. So yeah, I would say mostly I'm a conceptual artist.
So much rage inside.
Mostly what inspires me in my art, it's my personal experiences, books, music, other people's stories, and the culture.
What inspires is life, you know. What happens to me, what happens to other people. Because if you're an artist, you have to be a voice. I'm inspired by resilience. As a Rwandan, living with people who have been through extreme situations, but how they cope with it, what they choose to do and who they choose to become after that, that inspires me a lot. So I would, go towards that.
I'm inspired by a lot of things, but mostly the nature of life and also human history and human nature. I like reading a lot about the history of humanity, and I like learning, and when I satisfy my curiosity, it also inspires me to create.
Keep looking in front of you. So the moment I started doing that, and actually it's something that I did with COVID, it was difficult to get some social time. Like that time I would use to go outside of Kigali and see the interest that I would get from there. And I think it really grew from there. I realized that I had to develop my voice as an artist. And quickly, like what I've been trying to do is capturing the kind of poetry that you can find within Rwandan culture. And so trying to go outside of Kigali, I've been going to see Inyambo cows and basket weavers. I've been to see artisans that do imikongo, and I think it's pretty straightforward as a theme. That's what I needed at the beginning, and I think now it's a theme that I'm still interested in, but I'm trying to expand.
I first started exploring themes that focused on women, but it was in general, not on a specific topic. And then I moved to gender-based violence, and then from there I started making portraits without faces. I didn't want them to have faces, it could be any woman. And then I also focused on themes that touch different subjects, for example, the environment, but more to express how I appreciate my surrounding. Most times I use collage to express my ideas, but I also use fiber, and sometimes I incorporate paint. I think I reserve it for these specific topics.
The reason why I use dark colors like black and white is that the subjects are hidden, they are taboos, there is something of a shame in it. And for me, the gold symbolizes the power. Mostly when I'm working on my pieces, I focus on mostly myself, because making art, I can say it's a therapy to me. And sometimes the message that I want to represent in my pieces, it's totally different from the image that I put on the canvas.
My style is not one style, it changes a lot. So I let the story inform what style I use. When I start working on an artwork, I approach it as a new territory that I have to discover and adapt to. I also create, that's how I create my work.
Personal and emotional connection between people, or between me and myself. And while representing the work, mostly I like to add images that include intimacy, because I want my viewers to have different perspective on my works, and mostly because anything related to sex and intimacy and connections, it's like a taboo in my community, and I would love to start conversations about it so that we can learn together and share our perspectives on that subject.
I think that when it comes to camera work, I see that there are only few female doing the work, whether we talk about filmmaking or photography. Artists maybe, but we'll talk about what I know, and I know that having a camera in your hands, like, you get a lot of questions like, do you know how to use it? Is it a hobby? And I've got all of that, and I know is the same for other females. And I think that being females, of course, like, we have another perspective to things, and I think that perspective is interesting. I think that as artists, like, we tend to tell stories that we can connect with, that we resonate with, and so it's only fair that a female can actually do the same and showing their perspectives. And so when you are giving that platform to a woman, you tend to see that those stories are different, their perspectives are different. They're going to bring light to something that is different to their male counterparts.
My voice matters today because years ago, women in my position were not allowed to speak out, to exist fully and also, you know, pursue their dreams. So in today's time, they have worked so hard to create these conditions for us, younger women. And I feel like when I use my voice now, I'm also paving the way for future generations of women.
It's so important for me because it allows me to express my ideas, to move away from I would say the normal things that people want, like, you know, most times there's a path that people want us to follow, get married, get a job, and when they mean a job, they mean a corporate one, like you're doing maybe accounting, you're in the hospital, like you're doing something totally different from art. So for me, my voice matters because it's part of me. It expresses me, so before I speak for anyone else, I have to speak for me.
I believe my voice matters. It matters even more as a Black woman artist because of the importance of representation. There are so many people out there that relate to the things I go through and can be touched or inspired by that. But mostly, there are little Black girls out there that need to see a lot of Black woman artists, people who look like them, so that they know that, yeah, thriving is their portion. Yeah, that's why it's important for me to have a voice and to use it.
Artists today, not just women artists in Rwanda, we are free to do what we do freely. Our pioneers 30 years ago did not have the privileges that we have today, like schools and opportunities and role models. They had to build it from scratch, but today we have that, younger artists, so that's what it means to be an artist today after 30 years of the genocide.
We all know that most of the genocide survivors were women, and as a consequence of that, they've been taking roles that they were not taking before. And so those stories are still things that we are learning today, 30 years after. And then I see the importance of having female artists like telling those stories and bringing the emotions like to the type of stories. And so I really feel that there should be a special attention to female Rwandan artists.
Oh my God, I'm so happy I am a woman in Rwanda. When it comes to, if I know my rights and I raise my voice, I will be heard. I am not worried that something will happen to me. And I know that if it does happen to me, something will be done about it. It will be dealt with. I feel so proud of that. Yeah, I feel proud of Rwanda for that.
Even if there have been times where I've been doubting about my place in the industry, you know, there's always been a female saying, like, I believe in what you can do and I would like to work with you. And I think the first job that I had, it was always by a woman believing in me. And so that's the result of ecosystem that you have here.